Hey, what's up everybody? Brandon here, Team LIK, Offroad RC. I'm coming at you with a quick tips video of something I like to do to most all my trucks, especially if I'm trailing, mudding, snow, any kind of water, or just basically trailing hard. These flimsy wires that come on a lot of the axial kits, or a lot of light kits in general, they tend to break off the soldering points on the LED bulbs, which are inside here, pretty easily. Just regular use. I mean, if your truck's taking a lot of shock hits, sometimes you'll grab your truck at a certain angle. You'll grab it and you'll hit the light, and then it'll make it weak over time. I mean, they do break pretty easily if you're taking apart the truck and modifying it quite often, and you're hitting these cables and these wires, then they're going to break eventually. So a little tip that I could give everybody is to go ahead and get yourself some Amazing Goop or some shoe goo, some of that nature, just something to reinforce the back of it. It doesn't necessarily have to be shoe goo or Amazing Goop, but you see how I did the back of that there? Now, it may not be the prettiest. A lot of scale guys might not like it, but these are for my vehicles. I like to go scale on them, but at the same time, I want them to be very, very usable. I want to be able to bash them on the trails. Not bash them, but you know what I'm saying, to take any kind of hits on the trails that I could possibly bring it and survive. And with the lights, I love my lights, but as everybody knows, if one light, if we got one short somewhere, it takes out your whole kit. So a lot of times, or you know what I'm saying, back and front kits anyways, but it will take out these 4 buckets, for example, if one's short somewhere in there. And a lot of times when you're troubleshooting that one short, you end up breaking another wire because they are so flimsy. So what I recommend is go ahead and throw some Amazing Goop or shoe goo on the back of it, just like these are here. You can go to each one here and you can kind of look at what I just did. You see that there? Yeah, and it works really, really well. Not only that, is it waterproofs the back of the bulbs, and they're not subject to water like a lot of these LEDs are. They're not bad in the water. Splatter or splash, or water resistant, even waterproof. I've had these things at the bottom of some pools, little streams and whatnot, and they just smile and wave. Basically, they really don't break. But I like to do this to reinforce the back. This one here snapped. Hey, see me pulling on this thing? It's an exact example. These things get snagged and they're all over ways, and basically that's what happens, is these wires get tangled loose. But doing this will ensure the life of your kit, and it'll ensure that you don't have to worry about on the trail breaking and then aggravating, because a light's breaking isn't crucial, but they are aggravating, as we all know. So, because then you have to go through, rip apart your front end, to zip ties, whatever you got to do to be able to get down into there and really go to work and figure out what's going on with them. So these here I like to also do, if I do have a wire break, I always reinforce it. I don't add the same small crappy wire. I usually add a thicker wire here, so it just adds a little more bulk, and you can see I did it straight to the bulb there. Yeah, so it's really nice. This kit is for my Wraith. This is a 4-pod kit. Basically, it hangs on in the front here. I got a rigid light on the front too, but my pod mounts onto this BGR Wraith V3 bumper here, and then my 2 little fog lights sit down in the bottom where they're supposed to, right here in the front of the Wraith and the sides here. Basically, that's it. Shoe goo is amazing. Shoe goo or Amazing Goop. There's Amazing Goop right here. You can buy it at a lot of the automotive stores and Walmart, I think, and some other places of that nature. You can get it. It dries really fast. I think I did this one about literally 5 minutes ago or something of that nature. And it may look messy when it goes on, but it has this ability to just kind of like soups down and then dries clear. I actually did another one for my Stampede. It's sitting up here. Let me pull it down here real quick. I had it drying. Yeah, there she goes. Let me do it this way then. Basically, I just did this one probably about 5 minutes ago, just right after I did these here. And you see how when it goes on it's really messy and white, but then when it dries, it starts to dry, it gets this clear kind of haze to it, just like almost like a silicone does. But the goop stuff's awesome. This is a whole light kit. This is actually inside the actual light kit. My Stampede has a nice light kit on it, 4 pod on the front and 2 on the rear. Basically what I did this for is people will notice when you're doing your electronics and stuff, you want to leave a small footprint, and small footprint some people may not know what that means, but you don't want to add a lot of bulk or anything like that to your vehicle. So you need to add a small footprint. So something like this, not really an axle light kit because you really don't need to decase it, but a lot of other things you can. Receivers, like I just did my Wraith receiver, wherever that may be. And a lot of the electronics for my Wraith are all done. Where the heck are they at? Here they are. And what I did was basically create a waterproof receiver. You can see it here. This is a receiver here. I just put this is a Gorilla Tape actually on the bottom of it to stop any shorts because I had it sitting near my aluminum bar here, and so I didn't want it to cause any shorts. So I just waterproofed the receiver basically. Now this one did kind of turn out messy because I ended up brushing the end of it, and it ended up being a little messier. But if you just put a single coat on it, it ends up like this, and it's quite nice. You know, this whole thing's waterproof now. But the receiver ended up a little messy because, like I said, I wanted to make sure I didn't have any problems with this thing, and you know, the receiver is quite vital, so I don't want to be replacing a receiver in the middle of the trail. And then I just kind of shorten these up. These are the long extension types, so I ended up just kind of shortening them up. I could make it prettier by doing each one of them individually, but I wanted a little more length on the receiver cables because they're going in the front of this Wraith, and I don't have much room to work with. So some of the wires need to go a little bit longer. So it's going to sit down here on this. There's a there was a panel there. Dang, I just moved it. I got a little piece that I'm going to sit right there. It's going to sit kind of in here, and these are going to fold over and hit all my connections. So all my electronics in the front of my Wraith. So that's kind of how my setup's going to be. But yeah, so you know, just example, you know, of a waterproof receiver, and the BEC, or not the BEC. Yeah, the BEC does the same thing. You know, I seal up the end of the BEC. Well, that one's not sealed. I seal the end of the BEC. I can show you one, but I haven't sealed this one yet, which is something I need to do. There's a Holmes BRXL, waterproof, by the way. I seal up the ends of these. All you need to seal is the end because the water can't actually, you know, obviously go through there unless you got some holes or anything like that. So you just want to make sure they're watertight, water sealed. Just throw the Amazing Goop in the end here. And what's nice about Amazing Goop or Shoe Goo is it's flexible. Okay, meaning when it dries, it can still take shock absorption. It can still take you moving these wires around. You know, it can still take you, you know, like super glue will not do that. The front of my airboat, for example, where the heck is that at? Right here. You know, my airboat, for example. You know, if you super glue this alligator and these bass on here like this, and you try to rip them off, you would take your parts of your stuff as well as part of your base. You know, this is all Amazing Gooped on. Amazing Goop, Amazing Goop. You know, if you did this in super glue, you'd be building a new bowl or replacing a new boat or replacing a new hull, because you can't remove this stuff with super glue. But Amazing Goop, you can rip right off there and literally peel it off. And the flexibility aspect of it is when you're hitting those bumps and you're going through the trails and whatnot, super glue will bust off. It really will. It will break, and then when you try to remove it, it's gonna break everything. I'm highly supportive of super glue in certain model aspects, but in hardcore scaling or hardcore just RC, basically, you can use it on any kind of things. They will reinforce your body. A lot of racers use it to reinforce their shells around the edges of it and stuff like that. So Amazing Goop and Shoe Goo are definitely savers. Like these wires can move, you know. They can move and flex when you need them to, and provide that cushion, provide that buffer in between you yanking it, this, that, and the other thing, just ensure that your hard work doesn't just break and you have to end up doing it every month or every week, even if you're wheeling real hard. Anyways, I hope this helps somebody out there. If you got any questions or comments, just leave me the question there, or send me a message, whatever. And appreciate you guys watching, listening, and hopefully you subscribe, and hopefully you like the video. Thanks, guys. Brandon, Team LIK, Off-Road RC. See you later.